All right, let's talk about one of the most classic and honestly most frustrating car problems out there, the mysterious overheating engine. Today, we're going to solve it.
So here's the scenario, and maybe this sounds familiar to you. You're stuck in stop-and-go traffic, maybe just sitting at a long red light, and you see that temperature gauge start to creep up and up into the red zone. But then you get onto the freeway, you pick up some speed, and poof, the temperature drops right back to normal. What in the world is going on there?
Well, in this little automotive whodunit, there is a prime suspect, and its name is the fan clutch. It's a part that a lot of people don't even know exists, but it's absolutely crucial. So what exactly is this thing? Just think of the fan clutch as the smart thermostat for your engine's cooling fan. It's this clever little coupling that's job is to decide how fast the fan needs to spin. It's all about giving you maximum cooling when you need it, and then backing off to save power when you don't.
And this right here is the entire secret to our mystery. The fan clutch has two basic modes. When your engine is hot and you're moving slowly, like in that traffic jam, the clutch is supposed to engage. That means it locks up and spins the fan really fast to pull a massive amount of air through the radiator to cool things down. But when you're cruising down the freeway, all that air rushing at the car is doing the cooling for you. So the clutch disengages, which lets the fan just kind of coast, saving you engine power. A bad clutch fails at that first, super important job.
So how can you be sure the fan clutch is the bad guy here? Well, like any good suspect, it leaves behind a trail of evidence. Let's look at the telltale clues that are basically screaming, "Hey, look at me!"
Okay, so the number one clue, the big one, is exactly what we talked about at the beginning. The car overheats at low speeds, but it's perfectly happy on the freeway. But you might notice other things too. If the clutch gets stuck on, it's constantly dragging on your engine, and that can make your car feel sluggish and, yeah, you'll definitely notice you're visiting the gas station a little more often.
Seriously, I'm going to say it again because it is that important. This one single symptom is the biggest, most common indicator of a failing fan clutch. If your car is doing this, the fan clutch should be at the very top of your list to check.
Now, beyond how the car feels, you can use your own eyes and ears. If the clutch is stuck on, it'll sound like a 747 is getting ready for takeoff under your hood. Just this loud, constant roar. You might also just hear a general whirring noise. And definitely get a flashlight and look at the clutch itself. See any oily gunk on it? That means it's leaking its internal fluid, and it's toast. Oh, and a wobbly fan? That's another dead giveaway.
Okay, so you've got your suspicions. Now it's time to play detective and confirm them. And the good news is, you don't need a bunch of fancy tools. Just a few minutes of your time and these 3 really simple tests you can do right in your garage.
First up is what I call the cold spin test. And look, let's be super clear on this. Safety first. The engine has to be off, and I mean completely cool to the touch. Don't do this on a warm engine. Once you're sure it's safe, just reach in and give the fan a good spin with your hand. What we're feeling for is resistance. So, what are you looking for? It's pretty black and white, actually. A healthy clutch will have some drag to it. You'll feel a bit of resistance, and it'll stop spinning after maybe 1 to 3 turns. A bad clutch, on the other hand, will feel like there's nothing there. It'll just freewheel like a kid's pinwheel, spinning more than 5 times, easily. If you see that, you found your problem.
Next up, we've got test number 2, the wobble and leak check. This one is just a really simple physical inspection to check for any looseness or, fluid leaks.
Again, engine off, engine cool. Just grab the very tip of one of the fan blades and gently try to push it and pull it, towards and away from the radiator. You're feeling for any play or listening for any clicking sounds. And while you're in there, get a good look at the center of the clutch for that oily residue we were talking about earlier.
And here is the magic number to remember. If you can wiggle that fan back and forth more than about 1/4 of an inch, that's a huge red flag. It means the bearing inside the clutch is completely worn out. Now, keep in mind, a really bad wobble could also be a bad water pump, but when you pair it with the other symptoms, it's almost always the fan clutch.
All right, for our final test, we need to see what this thing does when the engine actually gets hot. This is the warm engine test.
So for this one, go ahead and start the car. Just let it sit and warm up until the temperature gauge gets to the normal spot. As it's getting hot, listen. You should at some point hear the fan kick in. It's a really noticeable whoosh sound, like a big rush of air. Once it's good and hot, go ahead and shut the engine off and immediately keep your eyes on the fan.
So what are the red flags here? Well, there are 2 really obvious ones. First, if the engine gets up to temperature but that fan never makes that loud roaring sound, well, the clutch isn't engaging like it should.
And second, after you shut off that hot engine, a good clutch should make the fan stop almost instantly. If it keeps on spinning for a while, the clutch has failed.
So, you've done the legwork. You've looked at the clues, you've run the tests. Now it's time to put all the pieces together and deliver the final verdict.
This little checklist right here basically solves the mystery for us. If your car overheats in traffic, if the fan spins like crazy when it's cold, if it wobbles more than 1/4 of an inch, or if it never roars to life when the engine is hot, if you checked any of those boxes, you have your answer. The verdict is a bad fan clutch.
And just like that, you've solved it. You went from having this really confusing, frustrating problem to being an informed car owner who knows exactly what's going on. You've got the knowledge now to make a smart, confident decision.
And that really brings us to the final question, doesn't it? With this diagnosis in hand, you're now in the driver's seat. So what's it going to be? Are you going to tackle this repair yourself, or are you going to head to your mechanic armed with specific, accurate info? Either way, the choice is yours.